Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to call the Warrick County Commissioners meeting to order. Today is April 22nd, 2024. Sheriff, can you lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business is area plan.
We have Bell Road Apartments, and they're requesting a release of surety. Crescent Valley Capital LLC as trustee of the Raza Indiana Trust. In our construction applicant, we're holding $9,920 in surety for escrow for construction of the private road. They've had 3 years. Surety expires December 10th of 2024.
Improvements are completed. Recommend release.
Make a motion to release the surety.
Second.
Have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
My motion carries 3-0.
Our next item is Meyer Warrick Subdivision by Meyer Stores Limited Partnership, holding $214,000 for drainage and entrance construction, and the plat was vacated on April 9th of 2024, so now we are requesting to release the letter of credit that we are holding. They vacated everything south of the road. So anything that had already been dedicated to the county, which would be the road, and then that strip of land north for the trail, was left out of the vacation.
Bobby?
With the plat being vacated, then moving forward with their entrance, I guess, would be a moot point. So I have no issue with releasing the funds. And then if they do come back in the future, they would basically whatever we needed, when they reapply, they would submit.
They said they'd have a whole new plan. When they come back with a store design, it's gonna be so different from what was there. It's gonna be a whole new plan, starting from scratch.
Do you feel that they're gonna come back with a design at some point? Did they give you any indication?
They have no idea of when. They did say they're gonna hold on to it, and they do plan on coming at some point.
Okay.
And this, the vacation went to Drainage Board for a consensus. So the Drainage Board gave a consensus to vacate as well.
So we just, it's the motion to release release the funds? Is that it?
Yes.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
My motion carries 3-0.
We have one sidewalk acknowledgement for Berkshire Phase 6. It's Abbeywood Drive, 2,477 lineal feet. And the county engineer has signed off on the acknowledgement.
Sidewalks have been installed. Recommend the acknowledgement.
Anyone?
Motion to acknowledge the sidewalks for Berkshire Phase 6.
Second?
I have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
My motion carries 3-0.
And we have a street acceptance, Berkshire Phase 6 by Macon Corp., Daniel Eubler, President. It's Abbeywood Drive, 1,229.6 lineal feet. County engineers also signed off on this one.
The road has been constructed to the approved street plan, so I would recommend acceptance.
Okay.
Motion to accept street acceptance for Berkshire Phase 6.
Second?
I have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
My motion carries 3-0.
Thanks, Molly.
That's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next agenda item is the approval of minutes from the April 9th, 2024 regular session.
Make a motion to approve the April 9, 2024 minutes.
Second.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0. And the next item is appointments for 2024 Health Council.
Yep, so Mr. President, the health director or health administrator position was previously introduced. The individual who was selected by that health officer, that candidate, that's been withdrawn, and a new individual, Marlon Weisheit, has been named by the health officer as interim health administrator. And so at this time, it'd be up to your consideration.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I will second Marlon's, being named.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0. And let's see here, the next order of business is our county administrator.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight I have the consent agenda of the County Auditor Certified Claims Voucher Report date of 4/17/24, the payroll voucher of 4/19/24, the Warrick Parks Foundation Derby Day 5K temporary road closure for 5/4/24, the Weights and Measures monthly report from 3/16 through 4/15/24, and the Treasurer's monthly report for the month of March 2024.
Okay. Anyone?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.
Okay, the next item I have is the county auditor uncertified claims, tabled several times, last on 4/9. The remaining tabled claims are for April Edwards.
It is part of the ongoing lawsuit, so I recommend you continue to table until the resolution of that lawsuit.
Make a motion to table.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, sir, that's all I
In
have.
terms of on the agenda, it's not necessary to keep putting it on the agenda. It'll just be tabled until such time that the lawsuit's resolved and we can put it back on at that time.
Okay.
Okay, next order of business is our acquisitions administrator.
Sherry Sievers, Acquisition Administrator, Warrick County. We had tabled, at the last meeting, the commissioners had tabled the cabinet project in the commissioners' conference room. We had 2 bids, one from Kite for $12,594.80, and one from Kitchen Interiors, $12,902. Kite provided an additional bid for $15,207.88, and the difference being the seaming of the tops. So at that time, the commissioners tabled it, and I just need to know how you would like me to proceed. And I've highlighted per IC code 36.112.5, our options down at the bottom.
Is anything different here? than
No,
last time?
it's just what we tabled last week.
Okay.
But I wanted to go ahead and address it to see if you wanted me to put it back out for bids, if you wanted to reject everything, put it back out for bids, or if you wanted just to,
So Sherry, just to make sure I understand you right, so to have a non-seam top, it goes up to 15,207?
yes, but I don't believe it's gonna be a non-seam top, Commissioner Saylor. I think the seams are gonna be less apparent.
Okay,
More like this material.
more like this.
Yep.
I thought we were changing something. Did we change
I
the
thought we were
color?
looking at a different material.
So, do you want me, do you wanna reject and put back out for bids? Just have us choose a different material then?
Well, yeah, because now we got a $15,000 bid and then a 12.9 bid, where we had 2 bids that were really kind of close, so
Right.
I don't know if we're comparing that apples with apples.
Well, the 15,207 is just one that they provided with a different product. And that opportunity wasn't given to the Kitchen Traditions for that same second bid.
I think that we need to redo it.
Yeah, so let's just reject all and have.
Can we not
So if you
reject all and
reject-
just go up to the open market and?
Yeah, so if you want to reject the bids, for the stated purpose of that the countertops and with the color and the option provided would, the seam would be noticeable and therefore not desirable, and so the results would not be, what you want, you can reject all the bids for that reason, and then just enter into private negotiations with, with the companies and see about getting a different product or a better system in place.
Can we do that, Sherry?
I make a motion to reject these bids for the conference room project.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
My motion carries 3-0.
And we would just need those, that stated reasons to be in the minutes. So,
Okay. Thank you, Commissioners and Andrew.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you.
And next is our Grants Development Director.
Good evening, Debbie Bennett Steersman, Grants Development Department. First item that we have is the item that was tabled twice now, and that is the chamber sign. So when we first presented this, we only had one quote, and that was from Sinorama. And that quote was $30,699 installed. We asked Sherry to check on if the price was still good. She came back with that price. She has information from Old National Bank to be able to put the sign there. And you wanted to know if it was going to be, the price included the installation, and it does. Also, you suggested she get a second proposal, and the second document I passed out is from Husk Signs, and it is $24,100 installed. And there's some samples in the back of what it would look like.
The question of the resolution has been answered here.
Yes, and then we also did add, on the second one, we added some other items that were in there that were, we're looking at the post and we're not sure about the initial post, and so we were asking for additional money of a total of additional $10,500, and that includes if we have to get a meter and we have to have it installed, and we have to use, pull it from the line and all that. Neither Sinorama or Hux could say for that, so it's kind of like a contingency amount that if we don't need it, we won't use it and we can give it back, but if we do, it's imperative that we have that to add to it. But I think that that'll give a sign that will be, no one could absolutely be certain that the sign post is sturdy or that the electric lines that are there are actually live. So that was the additional that we were asking.
I didn't see that page. I was gonna say that was the only thing I was
That
told
was
about.
on the very back of the,
I see it now,
Okay.
yeah. I hadn't seen that the other day when I looked at it.
Yeah,
That was
so.
my other concern about the electric. It says on here somewhere. If the electricity is within 6 feet of the sign, they would handle that.
yeah.
So that seemed pretty simple. Do we know if it's 6 feet from the sign?
They aren't certain of that. That's where they were, they haven't tested there appears to be some wires inside the post that's there, but given that they don't have caps on them, I would be concerned that if they're live or where they go. So it's more of a contingency if we have to pull the line, pull it from the pole.
I'd say you're probably able to use the wires, however, there's no electricity to it, so they're gonna have to retap it and put a meter in.
That's what I didn't
And that's
realize
wure
that
we,
was
yeah.
all on there.
Yeah, and that's where we added that additional, when I got the Hux one and talked with them, and then went back and also talked with Sinorama.
I'm okay with the sign. I'm scared of the electric. I mean, I don't even know whose electric service that used to be, whether it was,
I think it was Old National, but they're looking through to see as to when it was actually active, because the sign was, we inherited the sign, it had a red cross on it. And so it's been probably 20 years or more since it was actually used. There's been a couple of, the new wall was put in, the retaining wall was put in there, and so, but in talking with some of them, and we would certainly look to see if there's any way to get some of the labor in that donated. So. But it is, hopefully it is to the specifications that you're looking at for the digital.
It's basically 34,600. If you went with that one.
So Sherry, what's the difference between the 16 millimeter and the 10 millimeter resolution? What,
your 10 millimeters, your highest.
10's higher than the?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say 6 millimeters.
Well, I know that.
That's where we get into the professionals that I'm
Yeah, okay.
asking. So, yes.
I didn't know
They
how.
said it will be a
I
very
didn't know
high,
I didn't know how it was
definition.
gauged, so the
Yeah.
10 millimeter is actually higher.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you got Sinorama here at 16 millimeter.
It just seems like there's a,
But this is competitive, right?
Right.
What's our balance in competitive?
50,000, 181, something like that.
And if she doesn't spend the extra money, she can't give it back, right?
Say that again?
She's asking for an additional 10,
10.5.
10.5.
If you're.
No, if that's not spent, it will go back into the pot.
It can't go back, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
to that one, yes, yes.
I will do my best to spend every penny of it.
That's not the answer.
I know. But no, it's there, and, you know, we hope we can get it for less and be able to return some. But everyone wants a lot of things before we can even look, and I feel uncomfortable spending it just to see if it's there or not, so.
Like I said, I'm completely fine with the sign at this point. That scares me of the unknown.
Well, in talking with both Sinorama and Husk, they said, you know, the numbers that I was giving, they thought were very, you know, in line with what that they thought that it would cost.
Bobby, what was your meter hookup at the new highway building? I know that's a completely different scenario, but just curious.
Oh, I don't recall.
Don't remember.
Yeah, I guess three-phase.
Oh,
Is it
yeah.
three-phase?
That's a different deal.
Yeah.
Questions, comments, motions?
I just have one question, Sherry. On the second page there of the Husk proposal, the 3 foot that's just a fixed standard sign,
Yes,
and then
yes.
the bottom portion, the Warrick County 4-H Center.
Yeah, that's what they pulled. I'm not sure where they got it,
Yeah,
yes.
that's
Yeah.
all gonna be digitized.
That'll all be digital, yes.
And you'll be able to change that, it looks like, from a computer, or your
Yes.
phone, or?
From the computer. I mean, I don't know if it has telephone, or, that I can use it from a phone or not, but I know that it has software that's capable of, that's where you're getting everything and adding it, so, yeah.
Well, it says cellular wireless devices, cell-based communications.
And, yes, and I have, from the chamber standpoint, our internet that we have reaches to there, so we would be able to add on, or be able to use that. I mean, I'm directly across the street and I can, or actually across the street in the parking lot, so we would be using the chambers. So that's not an additional.
Debbie, is the money, this additional 10.5 need to be approved now, or could it be approved later? Or can you not move forward with
can-
anything until
You
investigating?
could do the sign, but
Yeah, I mean, I really would hope that we could get a commitment on the other, otherwise I'm gonna have to look for additional funds someplace else to make sure that I can move forward on this, although, we're hopeful that will be able to be added on.
would you?
Did you say there was a way to find
There-
out if there is electric there, and if it's usable, it just costs a little bit of money? Is that what?
Quite honestly, I'm concerned, and that's why I put it in there, that there is not electricity there, and we will have to go forward with that, because that sign has not been used in probably 20-plus years as electric. So if it is, but, I mean, I will seek additional grants someplace else if that's the case, but.
It's not that, I just think, I don't know what that's gonna get into. They just pave their parking lot, and if they gotta cut the asphalt,
It would go along the edge because of where the sign is. The sign is actually not in the parking lot. It's right where the retaining wall is, so it can easily be added.
And then, 20 years ago, the sign was probably a very simple light bulb type design. I don't know if the wires that are currently there 20 years ago are gonna be sufficient to power a sign of this magnitude, so they're probably gonna end up pulling wire too.
And that's where we added
Sherry, where's the power coming from? The bank building?
No, we would hopefully pull it, from the pole that's there.
So a
And
whole
the-
new service then?
Yeah, I mean, that's why the price that we put in there would be for new service, if that's what we have to do, and that. But given what it is and that, it won't be added on to, so I mean, we can get the lowest, amount that we need.
Who owns this building right behind the sign?
That's Goodwill.
Is that Goodwill?
I'd tap into them.
I will talk to them. And that may be something that we look at and rent the.
Well, if you didn't
Yeah.
have to put in the meter and all
Yeah,
that stuff, and,
yeah, yeah, we will have those conversations.
Yeah.
It's like,
might be something you can work with
yeah,
them on.
where do we get,
You
and how
you
we
could do
get that?
you could do an electrical consumption calculation and pay them directly and pay them on an annual basis, and it might be a lot cheaper,
Yeah.
but anyway. So, I mean, if she doesn't need this money and it comes back, I mean, I'm okay to, approve it, based on the, if she doesn't need it, that it comes back.
is that a motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion for the Husk proposal, and with the quote of 24.1, and then the additional 10.5 based on
Contingency.
the contingency if she needs it, that it comes back to the fund.
I'll second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
My motion carries 3-0.
All right, thank you very much.
Sometimes
Thank
it
you.
takes a while.
I'll be sending you the ribbon cutting when we get to it. Thank you.
The next item I have is Becky Guthrie? Yeah, he's there. Okay, is information on Ride Solutions. So I don't believe Becky's come before the commissioners before. I think she sent a request that the commissioners do an authorizing, come on over, resolution. And that resolution was to support the Federal Transit application 5311. And that application is for transportation that NDOT puts out, is it every year?
Yes.
That's every year. I do know that Southern Indiana Development Corporation, or SIDC, is the planning organization
Yeah.
for this area. We don't have one. So in the past, Warrick County has always participated. There are 10 counties in total. I asked her to provide some additional information, which you have on your second page. The one thing I happened to catch was there is a match. And I talked with Steve Raleigh, and he said that when he took over, in the budget, there was $6,500 as match for this grant, as far as back as he could remember. Becky is looking for an increase in that, and I'm not certain how that would happen, up to $10,000, but I'll let her tell a little bit about the project.
Well, I don't know how much time you have, but I can tell you a lot about the project. I've been here,
State your name.
Becky Guthrie, and I've been the director of this program since 2020, when we first did all the applications to get this submitted. Warrick County joined in 2008. That's when we came before you because there was so much demand from people in this area that want to go into Evansville and people from Evansville wanting to come out to Warrick County. In 2011 is when we started the bus route and the Watts bus service. And there's 3 routes. We originally started with 4. We've had to cut it down to 3, and we're just trying to sustain it now because we have not received any more money from Warrick County to help with this. In 2011, we did a big push down here. When we started the bus service, we had 2 other grants opportunities through the state. One was called the JARC and one was called the New Freedom. The JARC was Job Access Reverse Commute, meaning they're trying to get people to use the bus to find jobs and get to work. It was very successful. That's how we started the bus project, and we have just kept on with that every year. The county transportation door-to-door, which started in 2008, required match dollars from every county that wanted to participate in the system. The 5311 system and the 5339 system is where we get our vehicles. The vehicles match is 20% of whatever the cost is of the buses and the minivans. So we have to come up with the 20% for that. And on the grant matching dollars is 50%. So all operating costs, the 5311 program through the state and federal funds plays 50% of the operational costs. We have to come up with the match dollars, and through the coordination of the 10 counties, that's what we're doing right now. But Warrick County is just stalemate down here, even though we've done so much progress down here and we have so many riders. Every single day, we have riders going to work at Deaconess, Schnucks, Walmart, Library, Warrick Education, Hamilton Point, Dialysis, Industrial Wood, Dairy Queen, Sirs, Taroni's, and the Hope Gallery. So that's just people that ride every single day to work and back to work. In the meantime, we have people getting on the buses and getting door-to-door service at a very nominal rate because the people that use public transportation do not have the funds to have their own vehicle. And that's why we are funded for rural counties to help people get to where they need to go. People from Newburgh need to come to here, because this is a county seat, they need to come to court appearances. We have people from here that have to go into Newburgh to doctors. We have people every hour that gets on from the Mets. We meet the Mets bus system every hour from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. We transfer the people to and from. And there's been so many medical facilities being built in the Newburgh area that we keep getting more and more traffic from that which is desperately needed.
Do you know where is, out of your 10 counties in the SIDC, or are we first, second, third, fourth? What are
As
we?
far as trips?
As far as riders, yeah.
I would say Warrick and Du Bois County are the highest of the 10 counties. And of the 10 counties, you are the lowest as far as providing funding. And we have to either start cutting back, or we have to start eliminating this, what we're doing now. We need to increase it. We turn down riders every single day needing trips.
So another question for you.
Okay.
We're the commissioners, we're not the
Sure.
council, we're not in control of the funding or the money.
Well,
But we
okay.
need to pass a resolution for you. May I ask how your number one funder, as far as the 10 counties are concerned, how much do they fund?
Close to 20.
Okay.
And then Davies County, that's where we're actually located, that's where we do all our dispatching. That's our headquarters, and it's considerably more. Davies County's third as far as trips.
Just this morning, I was having breakfast with a group of guys, and a young lady came in to interview at this restaurant, sit down with an interview. Didn't notice, when she came in, but noticed when she left, she was walking. And so she came to a job interview without a car and walked and left. And, just watched her walk as far as I could see, as far as we could see out the window. So, and I know with our medical centers and the different things that we have in our community, that this is a service that we should be supporting for the people. Gas is gonna continue to probably get more expensive with the things going on in the Middle East, and so with inflation, car repairs, and the way cars are, I think we should take a serious look at funding this.
What do we fund you right now?
Well, Steve, in the 10-county region, most of the money comes out of the commissioner's budget. It comes directly. I've never had any come from Davis County, in economic development. But for some reason, that got transferred to them. When I've been here before. I don't know how long you guys have been in office, but it got transferred there. And every year I send a letter to them asking for an increase and telling how many rides we've done. I've tried to do that, but I've never got them to budge yet. So at this point, we are just looking at ways where we can sustain the trips on the bus. People get on and off continually. And not just, I want to reiterate too, that the bus system is not just for people going from point A to point B. It's actually a lifeline for people, because some people have no contact with other people. They get on the bus just for social privileges, they just like to ride. They like to be able to see the leaves change in the fall. They like to see the spring blossoms right now. So, there's just so many things that the public transit does.
Sure.
That, we want to continue, we want to grow it, but we don't want to go backwards. And at this stage, this is what's happening. This resolution that was sent out, this is the first time that NDOT has required that. I called it, when I found out this was in the grant application, I called up at Indianapolis and I said, what is this and why? And they said, well, the FTA's required us to start doing this, saying that right now we are the 5311 provider for this area in all these counties. But if someone wants to come in and take this, and somebody, and do all the process of getting the funding, they can. And if you don't want to choose us to be your 5311 grantee. But it's a very large and long process for that, and they would require a lot of money to do it.
Do you know when the application's due?
My application is due on May 17th.
And do you have to have any kind of written commitment of monetary money in the application from the commissioners?
No, I don't. I just need to know that they're committed, because this year, I've already contacted Economic Development and asked them if they did give us an increase, and they said no.
So Becky, let me
Okay.
hit the pause button for you here real quick. Don't let us forget about the resolution, but
Yeah.
to Steve
Yeah, the
Rowley.
resolution
Steve,
is just to
can you
keep
come
us
up
as a
to-
provider.
Add some color to this conversation. I think you wanted to come up. I can see you sitting on the edge of your seat.
Wanting to.
No, I just want to clarify. I've been in contact with Becky a whole bunch. She doesn't need to sell me. Everything she said is true. And we hear it the same as everybody else. Warrick County has a huge lack of public transportation, paid or free. And it runs through the entire county. I have gone in front of county council just to clarify what Becky has said. The obstacle is not me. I support giving them all the funds possible. I don't allocate 1 cent, as you guys know. So I put in my annual budget request. There was a time it was for only going up to 7,000, and then it was 10,000, and I've put that together in my July budget meetings, and the number keeps coming back at 6,500. So I'm 100% in favor of it. I think that Becky's been in front of county council, at some of those budget meetings in the past, and so I'm certainly happy to make that request again this year. And Becky has sent that information about number of stops and all of that as well, that gets included in our budget packet. And so we certainly have the funds for the 10,000 or whatever she was asking for, and it's a need that the community has. I certainly support the resolution tonight, and then the funding obviously goes through a different body here. But it has been in economic development since I've been in my position.
I think we can probably together find a way to help you make another ask.
Well, the thing is also is our drivers have to have a CDL physical every year. They have to have, a special license. I mean, they can't walk in my office. I come down here and interview. And when you said you saw someone interview at McDonald's, I have to go to fast food places to interview my people because I have no office down here. So when they come in, I have to go through all this stuff they have to do. They have to go to IU Med. We don't have a contract down here. They have to go to Bedford for a physical. A lot of people don't even have a way to get there but they're desperate for a job. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for someone, because, it's very competitive for employees, as we all know. There's help wanted signs everywhere. But we have professional people that pass physicals and well-trained. They have to go through training in Washington. We do wheelchair training. I mean, there's just so many elements to go in to make this a safe system for everyone.
Let's get you helped with what we can help you with
Okay,
tonight. We've
okay.
only got so much we can handle for you.
Okay.
And that ask is a resolution? Is that what we need?
The resolution's basically just stating that they are the provider and that they would be applying for funding from NDOT through SIDC. It doesn't have a monetary.
This is just saying that you want us to continue to
Yeah.
be your transportation provider.
Yeah, and we
That's
could.
all this
Well, I want
resolution's
that.
for.
And what do we do?
Last, you had sent me a copy of that resolution. Do you have one with you?
You have, I've got one. When would the new year start?
What number would we be?
Maybe six.
Six?
It's for 2025.
Oh, okay.
So, Commissioners, just for the record, this would be Resolution 2024-06 if you were to approve. And it's a resolution authorizing the Southern Indiana Development District to file the CY 2025 application for a grant under Section 5311, 5339 of the Federal Transit Act as amended, and authorizes them and names them as the authorized applicant for Four Rivers Resource Services, DSI Services, Inc. with NDOT.
Also, that is Southern Indiana Development Commission. I don't know if that makes a difference in the verbiage.
not Southern Indiana Development District, so Southern Indiana
It's a
Commission.
pass-through, it's
Okay.
commission, yeah, it's their regional planning
I just
commission.
copied what was said.
Okay,
So we just need a motion to approve that resolution? I
yes.
make a motion to approve resolution 2024-06.
I'll second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
All agree, motion carries 3-0. So we got that knocked out for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep. And I,
And I feel like that I would like to come back. I don't know where I should go to try to
I
explain
think
more.
July budget meetings
Oh.
is the right time, and
Got that.
we can circle up before that to make
Okay.
sure that the data that you have for all of the stops and locations and all of those things are in that, we provide a packet before, and then we actually have an in-person meeting.
yep, Debbie, thanks for helping identify that.
Now, the fact sheet that I just gave you, that was when we first started the bus system, because I noticed, there's testimonies on there when Pam was the mayor. But I just wanted to show you back then how much it was needed. That's the reason I included that.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
Okay.
She'll have it signed if you
Okay.
can. Do you need to leave?
Now, if you could send that to me?
Sure.
Just like that.
Yep.
Just that.
Not a problem, Becky, thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you very
Becky,
much.
thank you for
Appreciate
coming.
your time. I'm sorry I went on and on.
Sorry to make this difficult, Becky, we just noticed the funding and wanted to make sure we had all of our ducks in a row.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep moving along here.
Thank you.
So what you're getting is, first is all the uses of the opioid restricted funds. That's the bigger document. The document with the pictures is some of the items that Jean is requesting from the opioid fund. She sent a letter with it. I'll try to go as quickly as possible. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Jean Carter, and I'm a family member that has been impacted by fentanyl poisoning. In July of 2021, my family suddenly lost our only grandson, his mother's only son, and his little sister's only sibling, James J. Carter, at the young age of 26, to fentanyl poisoning due to a mental substance disorder. Jay was one of the nearly 107,000 other individuals who lost their lives that same year. In 2022, the count has risen to nearly 110,000. More than 1 million people of all age groups have died since 1999 from an drug overdose that usually contained the illicit fentanyl. 69% of those were male. Fentanyl is killing more young Americans from the ages of 16 to 45 than COVID-19, and 1 in 4 kids are seriously affected by a family member's illness of a substance use disorder. The consequences of each overdose death are tripled and quadrupled by the impact they have on their family and friends. The overdose death of a loved one comes with the added burden of many, shame and blame rather than support from those around them. It's very lonely to have this to be your loved one's cause of death. It can impact your functioning and make it hard for you to get through your daily life. Because of the stigma associated with the word overdose, it may be harder for people to deal with this type of grief. Through my lived experience, I have grown a dedication to educating young people and all others about the dangers of illicit drugs. In January of 2022, I started a program of harm reduction by providing the locks boxes in 6 locations in Warrick County. The Narcan that is provided for free through a state grant reverses the effects of opioids for someone who's suffering from an opioid overdose. Fentanyl is currently being used as a cutting agent to heroin, cocaine, meth, and also being formed into fake pills that look like legal prescription pills, or even Tylenol. Just the amount that would fit on the very end of a sharp pencil or a few grains of salt is all it takes to steal a life. I think she gave you a picture of that, too. Instability increases overdose, and people without health insurance or who are incarcerated or who are living in poverty are at an increased risk of fatal opioid overdose. Education and prevention efforts are crucial in combating the spread of harmful substances like illicit fentanyl and the drug, I think I'm saying this right, xylazine, that is now infiltrating our area. Xylazine is referred to as the trank or the zombie drug. Xylazine is a non-opioid sedative made for use on large animals such as horses and cows. It is able to inhibit the transmission of the brain impulses to the central nervous system, hence the name zombie. Awareness events held throughout the year can reinforce the message of the dangers of accepting just one pill from someone, even your friend. Being able to display the banners that show a small number of the faces and ages of those who have lost their lives to a substance use disorder, some of which were residents of Warrick County, have created a great curiosity to the information that I am providing. An event gives us the means to educate family members of the imminent danger of drugs and alcohol use, as well as to distribute doses of Narcan for all who have stopped to talk, to purchase, who stop to talk to carry in case they come upon someone who may be overdosing. I currently have plans to purchase a mannequin to just demonstrate how to administer the Narcan. Another display that would be very educational for those who have no idea what drugs are out there is a display box that shows what each type of drug looks like. That box, which could also be taken to schools, is at a cost of $770. I'm requesting your help with the newest project, which is to provide educational programs to all of Warrick County's middle and high schools. I recently met with Dr. Redmond on initiating the program in our school system this upcoming school year. Each kit contains the necessary tools to provide the program and is at a cost of $100 per kit per school. That totals approximately $600 plus shipping expenses. If the entire Warrick County school were included, the total cost would be $1,500 plus shipping. There is another 30-minute program available for the use of the alcohol called Binge Drinking Blowout, which is at a cost of $90. I would like to see more nalox boxes containing Narcan in each of our towns, ballparks, soccer fields, parks, and public libraries. The cost of one empty box like the ones that I currently have in the 6 locations in Warrick County is $260 per box. If another 10 could be provided for these areas, the total cost would be $2,600 plus shipping. I will continue to provide the Narcan for each box as long as the state can still provide them to me. When and if that day comes to an end, then any additional funds that are granted would be used to purchase the Narcan. The continuation of the awareness billboards are a very important part of spreading awareness and education. Being able to have one located throughout the county along the major roads leading to and from Chandler, Elberfeld, Linville, Newburgh, Selvin, and Tennyson is a huge goal. They would probably not run all at the same time, but would run when there's availability. Currently, the waiting period is 3 months out. The 10-foot 6 by 36-foot vinyl billboard, like the one that's located in Boonville featuring my grandson, comes at a cost of $500 per month and a production installation cost of $650. The total cost of a board of this size for up to 6 months in 6 locations is approximately $21,900. The smaller 10-foot 6-inch by 22 feet 9-inch poster billboards like the one heading east in Boonville are at a cost of $400 per month and a production installation cost of $175. The total cost for boards of this size to run for 6 months in 6 locations is $15,600. If a 12-month contract were run at each town location, the cost of either board size would double, and to change the board design every 6 months is a production cost of $650 per board. So for example, the total for large boards for 12 months with one change out of each board at 6 different locations would be approximately $45,100. That is looking at the highest dollar amount, of course. The smaller contracts and boards would be less. However, each board must run a minimum of 3 months per contract requirements. A 6-month contract is my proposed goal, or even a better 12-month time period would definitely provide awareness and visibility to a larger number of residents who drive by. The more times each billboard is viewed brings more opportunities to be a great conversation starter for parents and their children. I would also like to have yard signs displayed in the yards of our supporters, and I have several design ideas for those. Yard signs have previously come at the cost of $12 per sign, so an order of 50 signs would be $600. I'm asking for your support of a monetary gift of $35,000 to $51,000 to provide the opportunity for the engagement of the entire community. Together, we can offer continuous education in schools bring awareness to the cause, offer the opportunity and hope for recovery with the ongoing efforts that require commitment. We can provide the devastating impact from the stigma of mental illness, substance use disorders that include alcohol, drugs, and fentanyl misuse, and the prevention of unnecessary deaths. I could not save my grandson, but I can honor him by trying to save the life of another. So her max request is $51,000. You've got well enough money in the account, in the fund right now, and then unrestricted if you wanted to go the maximum amount.
So I got a couple bullet points here that I've written down. She is in fact a 501c3 nonprofit. She's been that for, I think, about a year. She's got partnerships established with the school corporation. She has partnerships with other similar facing groups. She's understandably passionate about the cause. And so I'm in support of this, but I've got a couple of questions at the same time. So, Sheriff, I would like to know, are you still back there?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on this, if any?
Uh-oh.
Sheriff Wilder, I'm sorry, what was the question?
Just, do you have any general opinion on this? Obviously, it's a problem you probably deal with on a daily or weekly basis.
Yeah, I mean, I know Jean personally, I mean, she's very passionate about this. She works very hard, and she has a great thing that she's trying to do and make a difference. We carry Narcan in our vehicles, all deputies do, I think EMS do. So, I mean, I support what she's doing. I mean, I'm not in monetarily that part, but she has a passion to make a difference in this, and
I talked to her a little bit the other day, and I learned a lot by talking to her just for a short period of time. And one thing that really stuck with me, she believes she's already saved lives with this program.
yeah, I can't speak specifically about her program, but I can speak specifically about Narcan. And then obviously, anytime you can do education to kids and stuff is good, but we use Narcan on a regular basis. And I say regular, I mean, it's monthly. Sometimes it's once a week, sometimes it's not. But I'm gonna say we use Narcan, unfortunately, have to use it monthly on runs.
Would you say monthly or weekly?
I wouldn't call weekly, that might be a little too much, but we definitely use it monthly, and sometimes it becomes weekly, sometimes it's twice a week. It might go a few weeks without. It's unfortunately, it's a problem within our community.
Does she work with school resource officers at all?
Not specifically with them, but the program does, and I'm sure she would love to and reach out, I mean, and stuff, so.
I know she's done as much outreach as she can with a two-person crew. I thought one of my concerns is, and Bob mentioned this too, is us handing a nonprofit money.
You'll have to
Right
have
now,
a
most
signed
of it's
contract with
For
her.
billboards, there'll be a contract involved. There's probably some legal considerations that we don't need to be hasty on. So, not sure what all those are.
Yeah, it looks like she's got a lot of detail there in the summary of what she wants to
Right.
spend the money on. If she's got quotes from folks, just the usual procedure I think we do for the nonprofits that collect the quotes so we can identify the costs and what they're going towards, and a contract that then incorporates all of that to make sure that the money gets used on what it's supposed to go towards.
Yeah, yes, according to the opioid settlement, you have to have a contract with someone that's going to provide any services. And I think she could probably get us a good list to go in that contract. And if you have any problems, just like we did the competitive, if they don't spend it in a certain amount of time, there's a clawback to bring the money back.
And as Terry stated, I think, I'm not against this. I think it's a good practice. It's a good nonprofit, and I want to support, people in our community getting the help that they need whenever they need it. I just think that we need to have some type of oversight here, and perhaps maybe work with the health department and have a little bit of oversight on how the money's being utilized, as well as, making sure that we're helping the community and not hurting the community.
This is, of course, one of the core health services for the health department, so.
Yes.
And these drug identification guides something school resource officers are doing in the schools already. So I think there's a lot of partnerships. This money could be used with organizations that are already working in this work that can be used. It's just making sure that those partnerships are connected in the contract and with those funds.
I agree, yeah.
One thing Gina and I talked about is, again, they're a two-person crew for the most part. I'm sure they've got a couple of volunteers, but tried to encourage her to kind of focus. You know, she wants to fix this problem. She can't do it all by herself. So, table temporarily.
It sounds like there's a little bit of paperwork to gather and get together before official action probably could and should be taken.
You definitely want the attorney to look over the contract of any
And you
time.
probably have to draw it up. I mean, we could modify the competitive a little bit to do that, I guess.
But I agree with the other two. I think it's something that's very worthy to support. And again, I think once our health department gets up and running on full, on all 8, clicking on all 8, she could work, hopefully hand in hand with them and kind of help them, so.
So, to add to that, we do have,
Name.
sorry,
That's it.
Candace Huebner, Health Department. We do have HFI funds and resources where we're supposed to meet certain goals and access to free Narcan and whatnot. So we'd be happy to work with her if you want to send her our
Good.
way too.
Good deal.
That's what we need to do.
And partnerships with the school specifically for that. So whatever we can do to help, just send it our way.
Great.
Yep.
Good deal. Thank you.
Thanks.
I did send all of the uses to the health department because there's a lot of things in there I didn't really get. It was during all the time. I didn't get a response back. And I think I sent Sheriff Walder a copy too. If not, I'll hand it to him. Because you have a lot of money you're gonna have to disperse.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
That's 1/10 of the money. Okay, thank you, Debbie. Is that all?
What-
Oh, we need
what
to
motion?
take a motion to.
Motion, yeah.
Motion to table this.
All in favor?
Huh?
All in favor?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah. Aye.
3-0.
Do we have a motion and a second, please?
we did.
Okay.
And Bob seconded.
Okay, thank you.
He kind of shook his head there.
and before I leave, I'll try to be brief. There's 2 things I need to bring up. I need to request a transfer of $500 from ARPA County to the EMA mobile command. When the billing came in, there was, back when Jake put the whole amount together, somehow he left $500 off. So now I've got a bill I can't pay, that I need to transfer $500 to that line item. I didn't do it.
I know, I'm just thinking we ought to be taking that out of Matt's pay.
Well, he said he didn't do it either.
He's in charge.
I make a motion to transfer the $500.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion carries 3-0.
The second thing, as you know, this is the last year. I wanted to get your permission from one of the funds to set aside money for the federal audits for this year, 25 and 26. I have to declare these now in the June report. And I can take those from interest, or I can take it from LATCF. Either one of those, I'll have to go before council and ask for their approval, because it's just in the fund. And the amounts I suggested was 17,000 this year, 18 the next, and 20 the last. Last year's was 16,800, I think. Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Take it
From-
out of LATCF or interest? Probably have to be, is there plenty of money in interest as well?
Yes, it just, whichever,
Okay.
there's 100 in LATCF.
Interest probably be the thing to do, right?
There's like 250 in interest right now.
Okay.
So what can LATCF be used for?
Anything in the general fund.
Okay,
There's 100 in there.
okay. So you said interest, Bob?
Yes, sir.
Second?
And if my math's correct, that's 55,000, right?
I think that's right.
Debbie, get those, you said 17,000 for
17 for this year's, 18
18.
for the next, and then 20,000 for the last.
Thank you. Okay.
So the motion is to take the $55,000 for the federal audits out of
Interest.
interest.
Interest, ARPA interest.
Have a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Debbie. Okay. Mr. Superintendent, you're up.
Skip me.
Are you skipped, Attorney?
Oh, I did skip you. Sorry about that, counsel.
It's all right. Thank you, Mr. President. Just one quick item, I hope it's quick. On my agenda today is memorandum of understanding for the transfer of AMAX fields from the town of Newburgh to the county's Parks Department. We have, the town of Newburgh has owned this property for many years. I think it was gifted to them and annexed many years ago, back in 1986. And currently, it's out on Anderson and Anderson and Lincoln, thank you. And it's a soccer and football field currently. And this is town of Newburgh, the Parks Department have already agreed to this transfer, but it does require the commissioner's approval as well. The town of Newburgh has passed this memorandum of understanding or will shortly. Parks Department has already approved it and signed it, so it just needs action for the commissioners to approve the transfer of this park to the county parks instead of the town of Newburgh. In doing so, the county park, the Parks Department would then go into negotiations with the Castle Youth Football League, who operates the football field, and then the Pepsi-Cola Youth Soccer of Newburgh that operates the soccer side, into maintenance contracts with those entities going forward.
Comments, questions?
Motion to transfer Amex Fields from Newburgh to the county.
Is that a motion?
Yeah.
And I would add that the motion would need to be contingent on, as several items mentioned in this memorandum of understanding that still have yet to be completed, deed searches, a title search, different things like that need to take place, but.
So moved.
Yeah, and it's my understanding that this will have to always be a park, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
I'll second that motion.
Very good. Have a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
My motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, that's all that I have.
Thank you. Bobby?
Yes, the first item I have one more that didn't make the agenda, but it'll be quick. The first item I have is just the acknowledgement and the presentation of the Highway Department Annual Operational Report. This report is basically required every year by June the 1st to continue to receive state MVH funds. So I just have it for your acknowledgement, and I've submitted it to LTAP, and copies from this board will then go on file in the Commissioner's office and the Auditor's office.
And we need to receive that with a motion,
Acknowledge it.
acknowledge it. I make a motion to, for the acknowledgement of the operations report submittal.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
My motion carries 3-0.
Quickly, what I have is amendment number 2 for the PE on Bridge 200, Wallace Fork Road over Little Pigeon Creek. This project is going to require a wave equation analysis review during construction on the pile driving, and an amendment to the geotechnical report for the updated foundation loadings and an asbestos inspection, and additional construction phase services required with that. So that would increase the amount of the contract by $8,695. And I'd ask for approval of that.
So that's change order 2.
Yes, amendment number 2.
Anyone?
I'll make a motion to approve the change order for Bridge 200.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
My motion carries 3-0.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Sir? All right, is that it? I'm gonna the last motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.